You are listening to the evening show here on BBC Radio Wales with me, Alan Thompson. Right then, that, of course, a classic. That's a live version of a 1987 hit by Def Leppard called Animal. And talking to me on the programme tonight, all about a brand new live album called Mirrorball, which is coming out at the start of June, is the lead singer of Def Leppard. It's only Joe Elliott. Good evening to you, Joe.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, fella?
I'm all right. I'm very good.
The track that we just heard there, that's just an amazing song that we heard there, Animal. Do you ever get sick and tired of playing that song live and hearing it? Because to me it still sounds like it was recorded last week.
No, there's certain songs that definitely, you break them into like A, B and C categories. There's the A-list, the B-list, the C-list. The C-list are the ones that make you want to hang yourself when you have to rehearse them. And then the B-list is like, you know, depends on your mood. And the A-list, like, no matter what mood you're in, they're just always great to play. And Animal is one of them. When we first created that song, I remember thinking we had something special going. But it took a while, you know. I actually recorded that vocal on the studio version of the song to a totally different backing track, and because the drums were in place, the guys just started changing the stuff around my voice. Yeah. So it was as though I was singing it with them, but they were just playing around different, same kind of structure, but we just changed it all around and made it a bit more what was then modern. Yeah. It gelled. I remember everybody just looking at each other going, that's it, we've got it. You know, now it's finally fell into place.
Yeah, I mean, can you tell fairly quickly when you're writing a song with the guys in the band if you're onto something special?
Depends what the song is. A lot of them are like pulling teeth. Yeah. I've always found traditionally when we're doing like a 10, 12 track record, the first song comes in 3 minutes, done.
Yeah.
But the other 9 are like, good grief. You know, things like Gods of War took forever to get together because I think it's got every single note minus an E flat in it. Yeah. And it's just one of those odd songs that needed a lot of work, you know. Pour Some Sugar on Me came together pretty quickly by our standards.
Yeah.
And that was one of those songs that was pretty obvious from the get-go that there was something there, you know.
Yeah. Well, the new album is, in fact, it's your first live album, which I was surprised to read, actually.
Yes, we did give a live disc away in the remastered Pyromania. There's a live performance from 1983 at the LA Forum, but it's only material from the first 3 albums. Albeit it's pretty good, and it's got a fantastic version of Travelling Band by Creedence Clearwater Revival, which featured Brian May, who got up with us and jammed. But this is our first proper live album that encompasses the whole career, going all the way back to the High and Dry album and songs right up to the last studio record and all parts in between.
So why is it taking so long? Because for a band with such a strong live reputation as Def Leppard have got, why have you shied away maybe from doing a live record?
It wasn't so much shying away as just circumstances. We had a 10-album deal with our record label. Without getting into too many gory details, the contract was always that any record that comes out has to be 85% new material, unless we did a non-contractual live album, which we could have done. But having spent 3 or 4 years between releases for the most part of our career, and touring for maybe anything between 18 months and 2 years, by the time we got off the road, it was 3 years since the previous studio album came out, and we were always chomping at the bit to get some new stuff out. Only by taking 2010 off, which is the band's first break in 30 years, and the record contract had expired, and we were in no way going to renegotiate it. We wanted our freedom. We had the opportunity of not having anybody breathing down our necks, no schedule to actually adhere to. We were free to do it whenever and wherever we wanted, if you like. Yeah. We had this year to just chill out, and within about 6 or 7 months of it, we decided now's the time to make a live album. So very leisurely, we started listening to the 100 or so live gigs that we'd recorded on the Sparkle Lounge tour, and purposely chose those shows because we believed that that last tour was the best the band's ever played, by a long way. We were all in agreement with that. And this lineup's been together for 19 years, and we said this. If we were ever going to do it, now's the time.
So how did you put the album together? It's a double disc set that we've got. The album's called Mirrorball. It's coming out at the start of June. So did you just literally listen to every song that you recorded on the road, or did you have a wish list of tracks you thought that has to go on, that can't go on? I mean, how did you put it all together?
Well, in a nutshell, it's a 3-disc set, actually. There's 2 CDs and a DVD. And the DVD's well worth watching for all the little bits that are on it. Some live performances and backstage footage, etc.
Hang on, where's my DVD?
Ah, you don't have that yet.
Hey, I've just got the... There's a DVD as well?
Yeah, there is indeed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, yes. You know, you'll have to wait for that. Doesn't go to radio. For some reason, DVDs and radio just don't mix, do they? What we did, basically, was we pretty much put every single song that we played on that tour. We didn't want to leave anything off, you know. Every song that we played, some of them are from a club, warm-up shows. Most of them are from, like, you know, arenas, whether they be in England or America. We've pieced it together as though it's one show, but if you actually listen to it carefully, you'll find me going, come on, San Diego, sing a couple of songs, and then Salt Lake City gets mentioned, and Los Angeles or California or somewhere gets mentioned. Yeah. So it's from a different bunch of places. What we did, because you don't have the necessity anymore of, you know, pulling up the Rolling Stones mobile outside Madison Square Gardens, recording the one show and hoping you don't make any mistakes. We record onto hard drives, which are no bigger than a paperback novel, and you can get like 4 shows on each hard drive. So we would record every show. So by about the 3rd or the 4th show, the red light fever's gone. You don't even remember you're recording them anymore, so you don't worry about how you're playing them.
And when you're listening
back... Just do your show, you know.
Yeah, and the huge tour that you've done, and when you listen back to individual songs, can you remember those gigs, or do they just all sort of mesh into one?
They do mesh into one. The things you always remember are the ones where you make a ginormous mistake.
Yeah.
Or the one where 3 naked women ran across the stage during Love Bites, or something mad.
Nice.
You know, when well, we wish, you know. I mean, I was making that up, really. But generally, we are such a tight unit that it's almost like it's like a well-oiled machine, and you only remember it if it goes wrong. Most of them are 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and occasional 10 out of 10, and all for that is usually the crowd. Yeah. And that was the defining factor on choosing the songs, was the atmosphere of them. We just wanted to get the atmosphere of a great live album, and our blueprints were things like Live and Dangerous by Lizzie, Stranger in the Night, UFO, Frampton Comes Alive, maybe All the World's a Stage, the first Rush album, live Rush album, where their songs were elevated from their kind of studio. A lot of the early studio records of the bands I just mentioned were a little flat, and the live versions were just spectacular. Whereas with ours, we never had flat production in the studio. Working with Mutt Lange, you just don't get flat productions.
Yeah.
So these really had to be, you know, atmospheric more than anything else. And for example, on Bring On the Heartbreak, which, you know, these days we kind of tend to do acoustically, the audience just took it off us and started singing it, and they actually sang a 2-part harmony. I have never heard an audience sing a 2-part. So that had to go on, irrelevant of how well or badly we played it, you know.
I've never heard of an audience doing 2-part harmonies before.
Me neither, but wait, when you hear Heartbreak, play it and tell me you don't hear it.
Should we play it now?
Why not?
Okay.